Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Saturday. Or, I guess whenever you end up seeing this. How's it going? We're gonna kill some shit today. We've got a little bit of extra stuff on the books for what we can go kill. We basically, matter of fact, yeah, we don't have any lockouts. Yeah. So, I mean, nothing really that we have that we're locked out of, so now we can basically just go kill anything that we want. Alright. So to start things off, we are actually going to go, we're going to go beat up the Avatar War, because I know it has been a very, very long time since we've done Avatar War, any of the Valius content, really. So that is on the books first. We're gonna go kill Avatar War. We're gonna probably hit Sleeper's Tomb. What else could we do? Yeah, Avatar War, Sleeper's Tomb, Temple of Veeshan, maybe Plane of Mischief. We could probably go do the Plane of Mischief stuff and still have a good time with that. The only problem is I don't know anything really about the zone for like how to spawn Bristlebane if we're even able to. But yeah, we're going for it. And I just kind of want to do like a little stream recap, or I guess a video recap of the channel. The channel went live basically at the beginning, like the middle of October of last year. And, you know, it's July 30th now. And surprisingly, the channel has already hit about 1,000 subscribers, which is above and beyond surprising. It's more than I ever thought I would end up getting. I thought maybe, you know, 200 people here and there, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. It's been awesome. It's been an interesting ride, for sure. Figuring out what content really doesn't do good and what content really does do good. I really haven't quite figured it out yet. I understand that, you know, trying to do variety, the other content might not necessarily do as good, but the EverQuest stuff still doing good is awesome. It's kind of amazing to me that a game that is this old and, you know, so many different people have played it over the years, how many people are still even interested in watching any content for EverQuest at all. It's just a crazy perspective. Anyways, it's still been a very, very good time. I'm still having a good time with EverQuest. You know, I had a much needed break. Thankfully, it was just around the time I got COVID anyways, so I just wanted to chill out and relax. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to say about that. It's been really cool, you know, playing with a few different people on EverQuest and stuff like that. Being social in a game that I haven't really played, aside from just like a solo experience where I hop in and kill some shit here and there, just to interact with people in a game this old. It's fun. It can be pretty toxic though, because you can tell that there are people who are just need to take a break. But thankfully, like the vast majority of the viewership on this channel seems like people who probably haven't played in a decade or two at least. So it's not, that's what I'm looking for. It's not too difficult to show you guys either something new or something that is still fun for me to do, in my opinion. There are a lot of people who still play EverQuest religiously, and you can tell that the kind of content that they would like to watch are, you know, EverQuest videos about in-game raiding, things like that, and things I just have zero interest in. Most of what I enjoy doing is this right here. I just want to twink out a character, you know, take him through, beat up some old school content, and have a good time. I do really want to find a new game to be social on. Dead by Daylight has been amazing. I'm like 55 or 60 hours into it, and I've managed to rank up to basically, you know, pretty close to the top rank that you can possibly get on a single character. And it would be really cool to play that game as a social experience, because now I kind of feel like I'm at the point where you kind of need to be social and actually talking with people to understand what's happening. I've still got Final Fantasy VII. I am kind of interested in playing a custom EverQuest server or an emulated EverQuest server. You guys might start seeing some content from emulated EverQuest servers on this channel soon, just because I kind of want to try it. Project 1999, probably not, just because every experience I've had with that server, whether it's the people running the server or the people on the server. Alright, brief pause there. The wonderful Oklahoma tornado sirens had to be tested, as usual, at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. As usual. Got good old King Tranix here. You know, I might also do a little bit of Kunark content. Sitting here wearing this Sarnak illusion. Makes me want to hit some of that old school Kunark stuff I haven't seen in forever. Anywho's, what I was saying is, yeah, I'm kind of tempted to maybe download some EverQuest emulated servers, because there was one server I know I played on for quite a while back in the day. It was called the Hidden Forest, I think is what it was. I really liked that server because just the way everything was tuned, it was tuned to all be like level 70 content, even like the planar stuff, and like basically everything was. And you could have two bots that basically acted as mercenaries, and you could really deck them out. I remember having a really sweet setup on the Hidden Forest, so I'm kind of tempted to download that again and play that, because that was a really good time. I also really liked the fact that on the server, if you donated to the developers, you could get yourself like really cool custom overpowered weapons. Like weapons and equipment and stuff like that. I thought that was badass. There was another server I played on there for a while that was a startup. I can't remember what it was called, but it was another server that was made. Everything was tuned to like single group content. If not single group, then like 2 or 3 group content, even some of the raids. And it was a really fun server. Like, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm interested in trying it. So we might be downloading some EverQuest emulated stuff soon. Mr. Statue of Ralos Zek. Not so strong now, huh? But yeah, I played on a few different Project 1999, not Project 1999. I played on a few emulated servers. There was like, I can't remember what some of the names are, but I played on quite a few of them. All of them, you know, tuned and basically made from the ground up with the original EverQuest, like, Titanium pack, I think is what it was. So it was everything up to, like, Depths of Dark Hollow or some shit. But really fun versions of the game. Like, really fun iterations. But the problem with those games is they all felt like they were tuned just enough to require at least, like, one other person to play with you. And EverQuest being a solo game for me, as always, that didn't really fit. nice little screenshot moment, but yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what the population is on some of those servers now, too. Aw, he died in a single hit. We did, let's see here, about that, just about 800,000 damage to him. What did we get? What did we get? Ring of Lightning. A lot of this stuff I probably already have, so probably won't let me grab them unless I've actually managed to clear out my... Nice, I think I cleared out most of the stuff in my bank. Breastplate of Eradication. Nice. Oh. Mask. Legs. Helmet. Oh, we already got one. Bye-bye, flayed barbarian hide mask. And I guess I could delete mine and then just pick this one up, but not really much point there. Alright. So that was Kael Drakkal, or Kael Drakkal, some of you weirdos might say. Let's get kicked out of here. And then we're gonna go grab... where is my... escape? There we go, stealthy getaway. God, I keep forgetting when I'm going. The COVID fog brain is real. Yes, okay, so now we're gonna go hit Sleeper's Tomb. Another place I haven't hit in quite a while, with another really cool mask. Now that we've had our Sarnak mask on for a little bit, let's see here. Where's my dwarf mask? There it is. In the spirit of going to Sleeper's Tomb, where we might get a dwarf mask, let's use our dwarf mask. Oh, you know what? Okay, no, I already had that buff. You know, whenever you have so many buffs, sometimes you forget what's on and forget, you know, what isn't on. That's been a problem for me lately. Sleepers. There we go. You know, I know I put a couple videos out also kind of covering like the 2022 roadmap. You know, pretty exciting stuff at first. I feel like there hasn't really been anything announced or covered on the anti-cheating aspect of it. They seem to put like a really heavy emphasis on it towards the end of that roadmap, talking about how, oh, we're doing this and we're doing this, and, you know, third-party programs aren't allowed at all, and there's been like nothing touched on it at all. So it kind of makes me wonder if it was just like a huge bluff, or maybe they knew whenever they said that there was going to be so much backlash and threat of people quitting who use MacroQuest that they just backed off of it. I'm kind of tempted to assume that it's mostly just because they backed off of it, because there was a lot of backlash, even on like my video I posted, of people talking about like, oh, if they do that, then EverQuest is dead. And I didn't agree at first, but now I kind of do. Big old Master of the Guard. Now I kind of do agree with it, just because there are so many people that play with MacroQuest. Like, I did not want to think that I didn't want to assume that a lot of people used MacroQuest, but now that I know how many people do, even on servers where it's supposed to be like completely and utterly not acceptable at all, like on the TLPs, and seeing some of the top end guilds, and you guys know who they are, use MacroQuest so blatantly, kind of made me lose faith in the game. Like, I genuinely lost faith, what little faith I had left in the developers of the game, when I saw how many people were blatantly using it, and nothing is being done to stop it. Like, guilds and groups of people just teleporting on top of enemies, just so they can get an enemy before somebody else. Like, guys, I understand that, you know, everyone wants to race to get to the stuff done, to get to the high-end game first, but it's not like this is new content. It might be new content on the server, but this is not new content. What is the point of saying, oh, well, I was the first to redo it? That means nothing. No one cares that you were the first to redo something on a new server. Or am I not alone in that? Like, what's the point of trying to wave an ego flag saying, oh man, I'm so good, I was the first to redo this new boss encounter on a 20-year-old game, guys. But that seems, that's what people are using MacroQuest and other third-party programs for. They're doing it so they can... Oh wow, he died to a riposte. They're doing it just so they can try to brag about, like, their placement, their ability to beat a 20-year-old game before anybody else. I love watching speed runs and stuff like that on, like, Twitch and these old school games, the Metroid games, the Mario games and stuff like that. I'm not trying to compare this to that at all, because it's not like that at all. But watching people brag about beating content first again on games that are like MMOs and EverQuest, maybe I'm just weird and I don't feel like there's any weight to that at all. So the emphasis that is put on cheating to make sure that people can be the first is what really kind of crushed my hopes for the game, because I was so used to people saying, oh, there's like zero tolerance for MacroQuest on those servers, but then everyone is blatantly using it, and I guess the developers are just too afraid to ban people because they don't want to lose the money. So it really, part of that, wrapping back to what I was saying, part of that roadmap now really feels like it was just said for the sake of being said. You know, it's like saying, well, we don't agree with this at all. We have to put out a political statement saying we don't agree with this at all, and we're going to start banning for it, and we're going to update our anti-cheat ban systems, and then nothing. Like, I have nothing against people who are using it for, like, maps, if you want to see what's on the map and stuff like that. I really don't give a shit about that, but if you're actively using it to, like, teleport and control a group of 6 to 24 characters, that's where I'm like, maybe you should just be doing that on an emulated server. If you're doing it on an emulated server, I don't give a fuck, because you're probably only messing with, you know, 20 other people. That's fine. But using it and it's like kind of ruining the fun of everybody else, not a good time. Anywho's, enough of MacroQuest and the developer's map kind of, you know, dropping the ball. Just back to what I was saying on the roadmap. It looks like in the next month or two we're going to be getting that heroic character update. So here pretty soon heroic characters won't be starting at 85, they'll be starting at 100. Which is very cool for people who want to start the game again. Or people who want to hop in and see content they probably haven't ever seen before. I do think it's going to be kind of chaotic, because the difference from like 1 to 85, I feel like there's just as much difference from 85 to 100 in how the content plays, and the game is all based on achievements and everything like that. I feel like there's just as much difference from that as to like 1 to 85 to 85 to 100. And again, you're welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but that's really what it seems like to me. So I think there's going to be some kind of chaos for some of these poor new people. They're going to come in and look at the game and just be like, what the fuck? What do I do? Ancient Prismatic. No mask. And these guys have like no hit points. 330,000. No mask again. I know it doesn't even really matter if the mask drops, but it is cool to see it when it does drop. Because it's so rare. Oh, stilettos. Nice. That's a good chess piece as well. That was our last chance for a mask. Did we get it? Did we get it? We did not. Man, this equipment is just... I guess it was alright at the time for like some invisible pieces, but comparatively speaking to... what's the word I'm looking for? Comparatively speaking to Temple of Veeshan, that stuff is really not good. Like, really, really not good. That's kind of a shame. Okay, next up, we are going to go to... Where do we want to go next? Temple of Veeshan. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and hit Temple of Veeshan. Let's see here. Let's take off a little dwarf mask. Alright. Let's kick everyone out. But yeah, speaking of MacroQuest, whenever we do play on an emulated server, MacroQuest typically seems to be encouraged, so you'll probably see me using that for the first time. Yeah, probably see me use that for the first time, because emulated servers, it seems kind of required. So, for anybody that is listening, hearing me still talk about this, I am saying for an emulated server, I will probably use MacroQuest. Just because, like I said, that's kind of expected for emulated servers where it is allowed. You won't see me using it on a live server because I am not trying to get my characters banned. I have spent too much time and way too much money on these characters to try to lose it all. Let's see here. Do I want to be a Rivervale deputy? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Good old deputy time. Deputy D-bag. Maybe we'll get lucky and this dragon out here will be up as well. Probably not, but you never know. A shark. My poor minion teleporting around trying to catch up to me. This water area out here used to just fucking terrify me because of that dragon. I was always so worried that it was going to be out here the one time I'm trying to fly out here. But thankfully, being a rogue, we've got Shroud of Stealth where that's basically never an issue. Unless you're tracking on for some unknown reason, you can see through a Shroud of Stealth. Alright. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye out and checking out some emulated server stuff soon, just to kind of see what I can dip my toes into, what might be a good time to play, and what might not be. For any of those people hoping that I might try P99 again, I'm sorry to let you down, but I don't think I'm ever going to touch that game again. It was a cool idea, but the people that run that server are just way too toxic to me, and they allow way too much toxicity with the in-game content. So, I understand with everything being how it is, like there is no instance content, everything is open world. You do kind of have to share enemies. No. I'm not about that. No. No, 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 no. No way, no how. And just the people who run the server in general. No. I think the only way I would give P99 a try is if I had a group of people to play it with. Then it would be alright, but then I also don't want to be obligated and trapped into something like I was on the Mischief server, where there's a couple of people who just don't think I'm doing the guild a service by not being on 24/7. I'm not going to put up or tolerate with something like that again, so... The last thing I want is to feel like I have to be, pigeonholed into playing a game when I'm really only here for the fun. This is the stuff that I think is fun. Let me go through this content, kill this shit, have a really good time, have it on stream, video, anything like that. That's what's fun. I did also notice that there was news of one of my old school favorite games finally shutting down. TERA, it's called TERA, TERA, was one of the most fun games I have ever played. Especially MMO, is one of the first original true action combat MMOs that I ever played. Because it was actually all about dodging and hacking and slashing, really cool content. Wasn't a huge fan of the graphics because I felt like all the races were pretty overly sexualized. But it was still a really, really fucking fun game. And I was really sad to see that they're finally shutting it down. The original developers sold the game, and then about a year and a half later, after some really heavy monetization problems, they decided to go ahead and shut it down. Because if you've ever heard of a game being pay to win, TERA was the perfect example of what pay to win is. Everything about it was so overly monetized that it was just like a mobile game. I almost want to compare it to Diablo Immortal and the debacle that Diablo Immortal was. Just really over the top monetized. And that's just not good for anybody. So, yeah, but they finally announced they're shutting those servers down for TERA, and that sucks. I mean, I'm glad to see that it's finally no longer going to be monetized, but I'm also sad to see it go. Because I had some really good times with that game. In other news, also video game and MMO related, if there is anybody who ever played World of Warcraft on this channel, that watches this channel, I'm very, very, very likely going to be hopping into some World of Warcraft soon. Just because there's the whole new expansion for Dragonflight coming out soon. It seems a much more down to Azeroth focused game. I very well might be giving that a try. I'm sure that's going to be a very tiny portion of the base that enjoys watching stuff like that, and I'll still be doing some EverQuest content in addition to it, but I really want to give that game a try. Because World of Warcraft, I didn't enjoy it for a long time as a kid, because it kind of killed EverQuest 1 for me, and I hated it for a while because of that. But after giving it a try, and I played a lot in Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm back in the day, I haven't really played much at all since then. I've played like, you know, a couple hours here and there. But that is going to be another game I'm really excited to give a try. Ooh, that is a good item. Bracelet of the Sky, decent item. Twisted Steel Bastard Sword, not a good item. And see, like this is a really good necklace. Amulet of the Dreadgazer, that is a really good necklace. I don't think I've seen that drop very often either. Another really good item. Oh, we already got one sitting in bags, which is fine. But another thing I really want to do on an emulated server is I really want to make, or at least host, my own emulated server, so I could do some really fun, wacky stuff. There was one guy that put stuff up on YouTube, a content creator for EverQuest that has like run his own emulated server, and he's done a couple battles of like certain enemies and monsters versus each other, and it was really cool watching it, but he didn't really delve that deep into it. So like I would love to like have like an emulated server that people can hop into and have fun with. And I actually want to host like little like cool tournaments and like watch parties. Okay, that was entirely too loud. I really want to host like little watch parties of groups of people like watching these giant boss battles of enemies fighting each other, which I think would be really badass. Like that's stuff that really fascinates me. I would love to have big boss battles of like the entire Temple of Veeshan versus sleeper bosses and stuff like that, Sleeper's Tomb bosses, because they're kind of enemies at that point. Like I would take the original Sleeper, like the warders, the original warders, have them face against the ancients, have Sleeper versus like the entire pantheon of gods, which I always thought was going to be a really fucking cool idea. I'm talking like all the gods from the classic gods all the way up to the Plane of Time versions of them, and then have them like face off not 1 versus 1, but like a crowd of them fighting Terra Firm. Take newer versions of certain bosses, have them fight older versions of themselves. Things like that. It would obviously take, you know, quite a bit of work, but I think that would be really cool content to watch. But the only problem is I just don't know how to program or set up an emulated server, so that's going to be something that I'll have to spend some time on. Or if there's anybody, you know, watching this that knows how to do that, we'll do that. I'll even pay you for your time. I think that would be really cool. That would be another like bucket list of things I've wanted to see with EverQuest that just would require an emulated server and some extra work. I'd make it like a really cool episode system, like a huge tournament. Start off all these bosses against each other and just have them face off, and then eventually go up to like the big league, see who can do what against each other. Make sure all the enemies have like the proper equipment on them because they get boost for it. That would be cool. At least in my opinion, I think that would be pretty cool. I would also like to see some of the old school stuff, like maybe we could take certain like cities of enemies and have them face off against other cities of enemies, like natural enemies. We could have like the whole Ixar city against some of, you know, basically any of the other races, since Ixars basically hate everybody but themselves. We could have like Dark Elves versus Wood Elves, or Dark Elves versus High Elves. You could do like halflings versus dwarfs, even though they're not naturally enemies. It's just, I think that would be kind of funny to watch. Stuff like that. I think that would be really cool. Have ogres against trolls, or ogres against froglocks, because that was like a battle that actually happened. Just whole cities of enemies versus each other. I think that'd be pretty badass. There's lots of ideas there. It just all requires a lot of effort and a lot of time. Some of these dudes just don't have any hit points. Haven't been stopping to check to see what any of these guys are dropping either. Ooh, that's a really good one-hand blunt weapon. Godrelic Sword of the Sky. Cool two-hand slasher. Oh, Ancient Pirates patch. Bracelet of the Deep Sea. Orb of the Deep Sea. Mithril Gauntlets. There we go. That's an old school item. We got a lot of weapons here this time. Flame Etched Short Sword. Oh, a really good rogue weapon. Valius had such really weird delays on them. A lot of the weapons for some reason were delayed like down to 17 or 18 for some really weird reason, and they almost never tapped back into that. Almost all the delays became like averaged 20 or 19 later in game. Like I haven't seen a single dagger for like the last 2 or 3 expansions of EverQuest. Actually, probably the last 5 or 6 expansions of EverQuest where the delay was less than 19. Got some cool weapons. Okay, we're skipping past this gear. Oh, another weapon. Axe of Resistance. A really horrible weapon, I guess, unless you're just talking about the diseases. Gross. Frosted Ice Spike. Another dagger. Oh, Spinning Orb of Confusion. Spin the bottle. There's a good item. Classic item. Oh, we already got one sitting on our character. Okay, and now for the big boy. Good old Vulak Air. Another thing that would be cool is to like mess with some of the stats of some of these monsters and have them face off against newer versions of monsters. I think that'd be pretty badass. But Vulak Air, that I guess is technically supposed to be like, if not the end-game boss of the expansion, then one of the end-game bosses, I guess, opposed to Avatar of War. Well, he died like a bitch. It's okay. Ooh, nice. Myralicar's Dagger of Vengeance. One of the weapons I would have killed for back in the day. Camille's Bracer of Vigor. Salvare's Robe of Darkness. An insane no-level requirement item. And the Kitsuma's Shield of Crafting. This is probably one of the best loot hauls from this boss that I've had in a very long time. Oh, we already got one on our character. Oh well. But yeah, very, very good items, very good loot haul. We got some cool weapons here, really good robes. We got some more twink items just in case we make some new level 1 characters. Why? Oh shit, almost 45 minutes. Okay, so yeah, that was Valius content today, guys. Anyways, it's nice to be back, guys. More content coming. I'm still enjoying this EverQuest stuff. Like I've been talking about through most of the video, we're probably going to touch base into some emulated EverQuest stuff soon. We're going to see what that's about, and I'll see you guys in the next one.